What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tales of Praxis. I'm Aaron Suduko, the founder of With a Terrible Fate. If you're here, then hopefully you already know, but if it's your first time and you're jumping in on the tail end of this playthrough, Tales of Praxis is a series of streams and also analytical articles on withaterriblefate.com exploring the storytelling value of Bandai Namco's Tales of series over the years. We started on the occasion of Tales of Symphonia's remastered release, played through that. Now we are on the tail end of the sequel, Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. It's been a pleasure working through that with you. I'm actually a little bit late to the stream today because I've been working on my frequently promised next article in the series, reflecting on my experience of accidentally having Regal come out as Lloyd's best friend, best relationship level in the streamed playthrough of Tales of Symphonia that we did together. So excited to be working through the end of this now. We had a lot of revelations and plot transpire during the last stream. Trying to think of the highlights. So the Vanguard took over Altamira. We found out that Commander Brute, Marta's dad, does indeed have Solum's core. So it looks like we're going to have to deal with both the Vanguard and also whatever is going on with Lloyd before we can awaken Ratatosk or reach the conclusion of the plot, since both the Vanguard and Lloyd have various Centurion cores that we need to acquire and awaken. In order to infiltrate the Vanguard and try to save the city of Altamira, we ended up letting them capture Regal. Regal is still there. Marta and Emil fled the city with the help of Presea, whom we finally got to reacquaint ourselves with from Tales of Symphonia. So she got them out of the city. Sheena went back to try to rescue Regal. We encountered Magnar, who we thought was from the Church of Martel, but actually turns out he was working with the Vanguard all along, trying to basically sow discontent with the Church of Martel and give the Vanguard better standing from which to seize power. You can see why I have the synopses of the chapters up on the screen here, because there's a lot to remember and try to keep track of. In order to escape to a safe place, Presea took the party back to another old familiar place. If you are familiar with Tales of Symphonia, you can even hear the background music and probably know we are hanging out at Altessa's house right now. But the next step in their journey to get a safe place from which to deal with the Vanguard is taking them to Mizuho. Magnar told them all about how the Vanguard is planning to use their position in Altamira, which is a really well-fortified city, in order to finally make a final push for the revival of the Silverant Dynasty, I think is the name of the ancient Silveranti kingdom that we still don't know that much about, but we learned it was kind of subdued by or erased in earlier history through the Church of Martel, and they're trying to revive that. Commander Brute, I think, also had a throwaway about how he and Marta can trace their lineage all the way back to the dynasty, so it seems like it's a bit of a personal heritage and battle for him. And Emil still seems to be having a range of identity crises, trying to figure out who he is. We had more of the out-of-battle Ratatosk mode in the sequence in Altamira, when Ratatosk mode Emil was working to try to figure out how to save initially Marta, I think. Yeah, because she gave herself up to the Vanguard in Altamira because they were threatening the city. That's right. And then in order to get her back, that was how we ended up staging a fake prisoner trade with Regal in order to get in and get Marta and get out, but left Regal behind to deal with that. I think that basically brings us up to speed. We're on chapter 7 of what I recall is an 8-chapter game, so I'm sure there are going to be a lot more revelations in the main plot, hopefully tying a lot of things together, and looking forward to progressing through a decent amount of that with you all tonight. So, without further ado, let's get to it, and let's get off to Mizuho. Evie, as you can probably hear, is also very excited about returning to the stream, so she's sending her best by way of her squeaky toy. Boy, I really had a feeling like we'd been to Mizuho already, but I guess not. It must just be from all the time we've been spending with Sheena over the last few chapters.
Who goes there?
Orochi, it's been a while.
Presea, who do you have with you?
Sheena asked me to bring them to Mizuho.
You spoke with the chief. Is she all right?
Well, you see...
Wait, we should discuss this at Elder Ikagori's place. We have other visitors who might like to hear.
That's funny. Orochi interrupted the blackout explanations we've gotten so accustomed to.
Visitors?
Yes, Rain and Genus are here.
Ah, it's been a while since we've seen them.
Really?
If I recall, they went off on their own way to try to figure out what was really up with Lloyd and what he was up to.
Yes. You are acquainted with Rain?
They apparently traveled with her before.
I see. Anyway, you can give us the full story at the Elder's house.
Alright. I think the guide I'm using also said there's a Wonder Chef recipe here. The single side quest to do in Chapter 7. Quite the change of pace like we were talking about last time. Oh, I wonder what the Wonder Chef could be. It's like that bit in like being able to read animated TV shows where you know whatever like object on the screen is going to move next because it's animated slightly different than the backdrop of the scene. Pickled vegetable. Huh. Gross. But hey, it's one more recipe to cultivate our monsters. Even though I really feel like, for the most part, we've just been using the protein recipe for steak or whatever it is, the one that boosts their strength a lot. I think just because that's the most natural role I have in my mind for monsters, just beefy supports in taking down enemy health.
This town has a different air about it than the others we have visited.
That is probably true. While it is located in Teta'ala, the people living here have their own unique culture.
So this is Sheena's hometown.
I hope she's all right. I'm sure she is. Though she encountered many dangers on her previous journey, she always landed on her feet. We are all very lucky. It is the same luck that brought us together, so I'm confident things will work out.
Thanks for saying that. It's odd. You're younger than me, but you feel like an older sister.
Older sister. You can call me sister anytime you like.
Oh, wow, that's a really kind of unexpectedly heartfelt and genuine thing for Presea, who has such a fraught emotional history with that concept based on her actual sister, Alicia. Kind of a quiet testament to the power of the journey she went on with Lloyd and everyone else in terms of cultivating just a trust and faith in one another that, despite the fact that she very recently met Marta, she's willing to extend that to her.
I've been thinking about what Magnar said, about how Silverunt's less advanced society leaves him vulnerable to persecution by Teta'alans.
Yeah.
The worlds were united. Everyone is living together. So why is it still like that?
They're scared.
Huh?
People reject those who are different and assume that the world they know is all that exists. As a result, they are unable to understand other points of view. Those thoughts lead to fear, and that fear leads to war. I believe that our ability to travel together despite our differences is due to the efforts we make to understand one another.
I think you're right.
On that note, let me take this opportunity to once again explain the magnificence of darkness.
Transitions! It is interesting thinking about integrated societies. Like, I haven't been consciously tracking this in the game, but my sense is that in most of the places we visited, almost all of which have their origins in the separated worlds of Silverant and Teta'ala, most of the people living in those places were still originally from Silverant or Teta'ala. And so in that sense, it's very understandable what Tenebrae is saying, and something that sadly has a lot of parallels in the real world too, right? Where you kind of, even if the world is reunited in a way where there are putatively more people to acknowledge in terms of our smaller communities and social clusters, we're still inclined to stay where we are and with those whom we already know and are comfortable with. So you can see how, without a lot of intentional migration and cross-pollination between Tethealan and Silveranti places, the kind of distrust between the societies when they were at different levels prior to their unification would only be exacerbated. Oh, come on, we know Mizuho. It may be far off, but it is greatly beloved and known in our book. Yeah, sadly, all the monsters we have to evolve require those special items, so not a lot to do right now. I guess in an ideal world I would be cooking for them all and beefing them up every time we run into a cat. That just feels like a lot of effort, if I'm being honest. Especially for a guy who, as I have mentioned multiple times before on the stream, does not especially relish the idea of cooking inside a JRPG. No pun intended. Man, all the equipment is getting so expensive now. I really want that sword, though. A better spinner would be nice. Well, we have just enough to buy upgrades to the main character's main kit. Good enough. And now we're poor again. At least at this point, like, I forget whether I talked about this in this stream, but I know we talked about it when we hit the same point in Tales of Symphonia. We've reached kind of the sweet spot in the JRPG story arc where it becomes much easier to regularly accrue a significant amount of gold. So hopefully we will not be poor for long.
Just as we thought, it's happening in other cities as well.
Rain! Genus!
Persea? And Emil and Marta, too. What are you doing here?
I brought these two with me from Altamira at Sheena's request.
Altamira? Why were you in Altamira?
Dreadful things have happened. You see,
And now we get the blackout. See, if you could elect to do the blackout or actually get the explanation, it would, I think, be a nicer way of just helping players to keep track of the story over these many-houred JRPGs. Because then think about it, it's like you have the built-in option at all of these major plot developments to get that kind of previously on cutaway that you get, at least in older TV shows back when TV was released on a weekly basis.
So that's what happened. You three were wise to come here. It's just as Magnar said. The Vanguard is instigating violent uprisings in cities around the world.
Death to all Tethealans!
For the pride of Silverant!
Boy, they are really not sugarcoating the just ruthless prejudice against others. Or for that matter, going back to the human ranches in Tales of Symphonia, the like Nazism parallels and just general totalitarianism and fascism parallels.
Rise up against Tetheala! Long live the Silverant dynasty!
Boy, that's interesting too, like, because I hadn't thought of that,
The
but
political situation was already unstable after the world unification.
the way we talked about the very obvious parallel between like human ranches and concentration camps in the first game. In this game, I hadn't considered this before, but this idea of the Vanguard trying to like revive this bygone age of glory the Silverant dynasty, right? I like World War II, and Nazi history is not as sharp now as it used to be. But I think sort of that idea of like the Aryan race and the Third Reich at least somewhat parallels that in terms of like the narrative that Hitler used really to like gain power and like lead the Germans in the way that he did back in the 20th century.
The Vanguard is fanning the flames of the populace's dissatisfaction with the Tetha Allans and the Church of Martel. And there's no way to stop the revolts.
What about Tethaala's royal army?
I'm sure they have their hands full with just the Tetha-Allan cities. And if the Martel Knights try to put down the riots, it will only increase the intensity of the Vanguard's opposition. It doesn't help that there's still no unified government in Silverant.
This isn't the sort of thing that a city watch could handle by itself.
Well, now I'm just thinking, I wish I had a World War II scholar or just a historian on the stream with me right now, because with the way Rain is talking about how Silverant is fragmented and doesn't have a centralized government, like from the iota of knowledge that I remember about my World War II history, I feel like that's a core theme too, again, and kind of how Hitler was able to seize power was that, after, like in the aftermath of World War I, Germany was fragmented and had been parceled out to the various victors of World War I, basically, right? And so they kind of also lacked that centralized sense of governance and just even more important than that, kind of national identity, which is what, the kind of alienation that allows nationalism to gain power and authority within a country. So lots of parallels here. Could probably write a whole article or study of that, sort of seeing these two games, especially through the lens of like Nazism and World War II culture.
And they are planning on using a monocannon. If they get that capability, not even the Royal Army could stand against them.
And of course that ties in with the atomic bomb too, right? Since we're just going on this whole riff at the moment, mana cannon, giant kind of unknowable destruction based on like the core mana mechanics of the world. Lots of parallels.
Let's report all of this to Elder Igaguri. If the Vanguard needs Ratatosk's core, then we still have a chance.
Right.
It's cool to see the way that Gina has ascended to a role model and the leader of the village since the end phases of Tales of Symphonia. Glad we did that thing, which again I kind of still can't believe was relegated to a side quest of actually having her ascend to the role of village chief at the end of Tales of Symphonia. Really nice button on her character that was.
Presea, it's been a...
Genus, it has been a while.
Presea, Ozette.
Yes. Thanks to your help, Ozette is on its way to recovery.
Miss?
Yes. With the support provided by Resurreno Mystic Supply, life in the village has returned to normal.
Presea, your ability to translate Genus's stuttering has improved immensely.
Thank you. I'm used to it now.
Oh, that's cute. I still want to know if that earlier conversation with Presea about what she was using the Iron Maiden for was meant to suggest she was crushing on Genus in return. That is not especially the vibe that I've picked up on her so far.
So, the enemy plans to use a mana cannon to attack a Tetha Allan city.
I'm realizing right now that I forgot to update the title for this stream, which is my bad. So I'm going to push the update now, and I still have little to no idea how Twitch works, but hopefully that will better indicate that this is not a rerun of the last stream. It is, in fact, new content. Alright, back at it.
If it comes to that, I have no doubt that the target would be Meltokyo.
If their mana cannon is as powerful as the one Sheena used, it could easily blow away an entire city. Once they get their hands on Ratatosk's core, it's all over.
I think Orochi might be voiced by Liam O'Brien this time, who was one of my favorite voice actors and whom I would recognize in most places. Also known for, well, I met him initially in my gaming career, or knowingly did, in his role as Grimoire Weiss in Nier, which with the Terrible Fate fans will know is a game that's near and dear to my heart. Pun slightly intended, I guess. But then also within the Tales universe, he, I think, has appeared more than once. Most recently, I clocked him as Dist, who is one of the antagonists called the God Generals in Tales of the Abyss. So it would be fitting for him. I love that voice. Listen to it anywhere. He was War in Darksiders also.
Exactly. So we need to concentrate on Altamira and not the revolts in other cities. The Vanguard commander is stationed there right now. If a group as inexperienced as the Vanguard loses its leader, the rest of the organization will likely fall apart.
If I understand you correctly, you're suggesting that we go after the Vanguard's commander.
But Rain, the Vanguard's commander is Marta's father.
I'm not saying that we have to kill him.
Even if we captured him alive, after all of the things he's done, he may be executed.
Marta.
I understand. My father has done terrible things. Please, don't worry about me.
Then we should send our units into Altamira as soon as possible.
Count me in.
Me too.
I would also like to help. I'm sure I could be of service.
Emil, you stay here and protect Marta.
That's all you're good for.
Why?
You don't realize how indecisive most of the other characters in this world are until Rain comes back, and she's just the most outspoken and decisive person to guide the group's actions. I love it.
As long as Ratatosk's core is safe, the worst-case scenario will not happen, so we must keep it that way.
That's definitely Liam O'Brien. I'm shocked that I didn't clock him sooner.
We cannot afford any delays. Make the necessary preparations immediately.
All right, let's go and get ready.
We get to do a round of conversations with people. I don't see any of them. Where did they go? There's Marta. Do we only have the option to talk with Marta? Not the rest of the gang? No, it might be that way. Do they let us leave the village right now? Yeah. Boy, so this is kind of an interesting anti-parallel to a scene that I'm thinking about from Tales of Symphonia, right before the party goes to confront Volt in the Temple of Lightning, when they come to Mizuho and learn about Sheena's past failure to make a pact with Volt, and then the party scatters like that, and Lloyd has the opportunity to go and talk to everyone, as happens in so many points throughout these games, and then talk with Sheena to kind of give her words of encouragement and get her to be willing to try to make the pact again. So here, only having the option to talk to Marta really kind of further underscores what we've talked about before in this game, where the focus is very overtly on a single relationship rather than developing the relationship between Lloyd and many different party members.
Do you think we're doing the right thing?
What do you mean?
They'll capture Daddy, then they'll dismantle the Vanguard. Then we can wake up Ratatosk.
Are you really okay with that?
Well, what other way is there?
You don't want to try talking with your father?
Daddy won't listen to what I have to say. You heard him. He just won't listen.
Then why did you go to the trouble of running away from the Vanguard?
What?
You said that you could never forgive your father's way of doing things. You were a member of the Vanguard yourself, and yet you're letting others do the most important work for you. You're okay with that?
Boy, this is a much more confrontational normal Emil than we've seen throughout the entire game so far.
Then are you saying I should go fight my own father?
No, I'm saying you should try talking with him. Just because it didn't work the first couple of times doesn't mean there's no hope at all. Root's your father. If someone else captures him, then that's it. That's the end. Are you really gonna be okay with that? He's still your father. Courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
Now he's quoting Richter, who, as we were discussing a couple streams ago, may very well have been quoting Aster, although we haven't had that confirmed, so kind of quoting himself through various levels of remove.
Courage is what helped me make true friends. That's why I'm giving my courage to you. Let's go to Altamira. Regal's there and Sheena as well. They both saved us when we needed them. And you need to talk to your father.
Emil.
The Vanguard is attacking. Everyone's at the village entrance right now holding the...
Wow, that escalated quickly.
You have to get out of here.
I'm thinking this is an interesting kind of inversion to a lot of the main thrust of the interpersonal conflict that the characters had to deal with in the first Tales of Symphonia, because there so much of the plot was the idea of self-sacrifice and Colette being willing to throw her own life away in order to save and rebalance the world, and Lloyd always insisting there has to be a way for us to save and restore order to the world without anyone giving up their lives. And here it's like not Marta thinking about sacrificing herself, but quite on the other end of the spectrum, Marta thinking about kind of sacrificing her own sense of community for the broader balance of the world, like giving up on her father and the Vanguard and kind of the aspirations of the Silveranti for the sake of Ratatosk and the broader natural order of the world, and Emil coming in and saying, well, maybe there's a way to actually rectify those communities rather than just destroying them for the sake of the greater good. So Emil hitting very similar notes with Lloyd, but with a very different target of thinking about communities in the world rather than the individual, which makes a lot of sense consistent with what we were talking about just a few minutes ago in terms of how the community unit is a big focal point for like the persistent persecution and prejudice that groups level against each other in this new unified world. That'd be a cool thing to write about too. I'll have to put that on my never-ending list of topics. So you guys are waiting for the third article that I have in the analytical series side of Tales of Praxis, but if you could see the Google Doc that I have running with ideas, it's like I am overwhelmed with different things that could be an article on a week-to-week basis. Just give me more time to do it all.
Then they have to give up the village.
Emil, we can handle this. Go to Elder Igaguri's house.
Look out!
I won't let you into this village!
Yeah, even that sounded less hateful and more kind of honorable coming out of Ratatosk mode Emil's mouth. It's almost like his personality and regular mode Emil, like those two sides of Emil are starting to like meet in the middle in terms of being like more courageous and just honorable. on both sides. Wonder if they'll merge together before this is all over. I forgot to double check my party. I think I had been planning to use other monsters. That's alright, we'll do it live. Never a bad time for a mystic art.
This is the final strike! Darkness devours! So hour!
Overkill.
See that?
Yes, I watched all of it.
There's no end to this! They were after you like this the first time we met.
You remember?
Oh, I love this. We didn't have a sequence like this in the first Tales of Symphonia, but actually one of the only sequences that I really distinctly remember from Tales of Fantasia, from back when I played that a long, long time ago, which was the first Tales game ever made, for those who are interested, because there's a really cool, I think, sequence in the middle of a war or something, where your character is going into battle on Pegasus, a winged horse, and there's a similar kind of, not boss rush, but just battle rush like this of one battle after the other. I really like that. I think it's a cool way of doing like battle punctuated storytelling in JRPGs, and you get some interesting like character development through the battles in a like thematic sense, and just at a pace that's hard to replicate outside of that just rapid fire battle context.
And you've been running ever since.
See, like the way they pick their conversation right back up where they left off in between battles. Like, it's really cool, and just the consistency of the music that's not interrupted in and out of the fights gives it a very cool punch, I think.
You were running because you thought once you wake up Ratatosk, the Vanguard won't be able to do anything.
That's...
But Brute has Solum's core. You won't be able to wake up Ratatosk if you keep running from Brute.
He's right. You gotta face your community. Deal with your problems. Wake up a demon lord. An alleged demon lord.
Healing power.
Time's over. This is the final strike.
Wow. I think that was the first time Emil's ever whiffed in his Mystic Art. That was rough. Jeez, yeah, that barely did any damage to him. If you're gonna take the movement control away from the player, at least make sure all the hits are going.
Eat this.
And then there was silence.
It looks like the enemy withdrew for now.
Are you still gonna keep running?
Courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality. I want to see Daddy one more time.
Are you serious? The Vanguard is after Ratatosk's core, remember?
Yes, I know. But it's just... this whole time, I haven't done anything but run away.
And this is really cool. Smidge, I'm not sure if you're watching the stream right now, because Smidge has been calling out over the whole playthrough how it's like a running gag almost that Marta always leaves the party, especially early on when she kind of finds every excuse to like make us go after her for one reason or another. And now they're kind of taking what seemed like something that was very hokey and tropish at the beginning of the game and turning it outside to make it a really cool theme. Like, oh, actually, it's her core problem that she always runs away, and the game can't be completed without her facing that and coming to terms with herself and her own identity and past. Like, that's very cool, I think. Another good example of what we've been talking about over the last few streams of how a lot of things that might make it easy to write off this game in the first few chapters end up paying off for the exact reasons that we have a hard time with those first few chapters. Almost like the game was looking for us to prejudge it in ways that are meaningful to the content of the story when push comes to shove.
But you've been trying to wake up Ratatosk.
That was just a roundabout way of stalling the Vanguard. I was afraid to face my father. He had changed, so I just ran away from him.
You're not afraid anymore?
I'm afraid, but Emil shared his courage with me. Emil, and the other Emil too. Thank you.
My other self said something to you?
Yes, he did. Please, let me go to Altamira.
Well, either way, the Vanguard knows that Marta's here. I don't really see a problem with her accompanying you.
I think so too. We can protect her.
Rain, what do you think? You're against it, right?
Oh, why would I be against it?
Then it's okay.
To tell the truth, I'd prefer to leave you behind.
Huh?
Never mind. Marta, you can come with us.
Rain, always so cagey. Come on, say what you mean.
Thank you.
Then it's settled. I'll leave Marta with you, and we can meet up later in front of Altamira.
Man, now I'm just wishing they had given Liam a bigger role in the game. Feels unfair to relegate him to Orochi. Oh, I lost the skip. There it is.
Isn't there some way we can stop
They always
all
come
the
back.
chaos the Vanguard is causing around the world?
I'm sure the Royal Army is marshaling their forces to deal with the situation.
So, they'll be coming to Altamira, right?
No, that's precisely what the Vanguard's uprisings are designed to prevent. With their forces scattered, the army won't even be able to approach Altamira, especially now that the Vanguard claimed it as its base.
Then the only way to bring down the Vanguard is from the inside.
Yes. And the only people that can do that now
Are us.
Yeah, so let's hurry to Altamira. Regal and Sheena need our help.
Say no more. Let's do this thing.
Looks like Orochi isn't here yet.
I'm right here.
You scared me.
Yes, I was quite startled.
That was the point. I used ninjutsu as a joke. Ninjutsu, not ninjutsu. It's hard to say, man.
You don't look very startled.
That's our Persea. Always so cool and calm.
No, I told you. He startled me.
This conversation is giving me a headache. Let's just drop it.
My man.
Thank you, Orochi. So what's the situation like in Altamira?
It appears the Vanguard established their headquarters in Lezoreno Company Building Number 2.
Building number 2?
It was built near Altamira's amusement park.
If we attract any attention, the Vanguard will have a welcome party all ready and waiting for us at their headquarters.
Then what should we do?
Regal told me there's a tunnel underneath the hotel for employee use. If we can find that, it should take us right in front of building number 2.
You think of everything, Presea.
You're quite composed for your age.
We'll seal off building number 2 so they can't call reinforcements. We'll take care of the Vanguard soldiers in the city. We'll leave infiltrating their headquarters to you.
That's fine.
The plan goes into effect at midnight tonight. Don't do anything that might arouse suspicion before then.
All right, we should get going as well. Wow, they've got this place wrapped up tight.
There's no way we'll be able to get in before midnight.
What should we do? Starting a fight will get everyone's attention.
We just need to get them out of the way, correct?
Paw pad.
It's Tenebrae. If you're going to call me something ridiculous like doggy or paw pad, I prefer you just called me Tenebrae.
Nah, I'm kind of more into paw pad if I'm being honest.
Chill out, Tenebrae. What are you planning on doing?
I'm planning on doing this. Nobody can resist the sight of a beautiful woman.
Paw pad, how dare you imitate Celsius for your own ends?
Tenebrae, you can transform into anything you want?
Yes, because I'm a centurion. Now then, watch a master at work.
Why does he have to do the voice? No aspect of this ought to require a silly voice on top of the visual transformation. Also, I feel like I'd be more interested in a cat dog of darkness walking by than a summoned spirit of ice, if I'm being honest. I guess not so with the Vanguard soldiers, though. We don't get paid enough to quash our insatiable lust.
It looks like everything worked out beautifully.
The laugh.
How long are you planning to stay like that?
I think that laugh takes the cake even over Ratatosk Emil's laugh in Ein Sof Hour for the most distinctive and haunting laugh in the game so far.
Why, Emil, honey, don't you like it?
Wow, well, that's a switch.
That's one word for
Maybe
it.
changing his shape changes his personality as well.
I miss Paw Pad.
Me too, Presea. Me too.
Anyway, let's wait here until dark. Our operation begins at midnight.
Which way is it to the underground tunnel?
Regal said all you have to do is get in the elevator and press the button marked for employees.
Then let's relax until midnight.
Bro, have some self-respect, please. I'm begging you.
Hey, Tenebrae, the lady you turned into, is that what Centurions consider to be beautiful?
Yes, we Centurions have a highly refined aesthetic sense.
Well, what about Rain?
Truly a vision of beauty.
My.
And Presea?
Very lovely indeed.
How nice.
Okay, what about me?
Why, you are beautiful as well, Lady Marta.
So then, which of us is the most beautiful of all?
I believe that would have to be me.
You really love yourself, don't you?
Look, I mean, when you're this great, it's really hard not to. I'd be lying to you if I said I weren't the most beautiful. Alright, I assume we're all healed up. And we got our items topped off. I might just switch Maccabees in for our Hydra, since his level is just so much healthier. Ooh, although if we stop by in the lobby, we can save one more time. Y'all know I love a good save. Now we're off.
So, this tunnel leads to building number 2. Priscilla?
I'm fine. My head just hurts a little.
Now that you mention it, I feel a little short of breath all of a sudden.
I believe you may be experiencing the effects of Solum's core's increased instability. The core must have been used for some truly nefarious deeds. Its powers have grown even more chaotic.
What does that mean for us?
The longer we stay here, those without Lord Ratatosk's protection may be affected by the core's precarious state and lose their sanity.
That's interesting, because we knew from early on in the game that the cores can affect the psyche of those who hold them if those people aren't properly equipped and able to handle it. But now it sounds like it's almost a feedback loop where if that person is unstable and wants to use the core for, as Tenebrae says, nefarious purposes, then that can also sort of further warp the core and the core's own abilities, creating this sort of chaos field around everything. So the worst thing for Solum's core is Commander Brute's underlying personality and identity. Probably the core only exacerbates those things.
In other words, we don't have any time to lose.
I hope Regal and Sheena are okay.
Even if they've been affected by Solum's core, they should return to normal as soon as Lady Marta hatches it.
So if we find Brute and get the core back, everything will be settled.
That's right. Daddy,
Marta, are you alright?
I'm fine. I have the courage you gave me.
Don't lose it. I haven't any left to spare after that, Marta. Excellent. Very short casting time for Marta now, hopefully. Better late than never.
This is it. I'm pretty sure building number 2 is just beyond this door.
I wonder where Brute and where Marta's dad is.
Usually, the most important person resides at the top.
The top floor. They'll definitely spot us before we get up there.
Yes, and a large corporation like the Lezareno Company is bound to have some pretty advanced security installed as well. No matter what we do, it's going to be quite difficult to stay undercover.
Do you think we can find the blueprints of the building somewhere?
If we could locate the security room, I believe we might be able to find the blueprints.
That kind of thing is usually located in the basement.
Then let's try to find a security room.
Yes, let's do that.
First we go to the bottom and then to the top. So, the usual stakes, in other words. I know I said this on the last stream, but I really think this track that we have as our background for navigating Building 2 is at least in my top 3 for favorite musical tracks in the game, if not my very favorite. Just something about the way they use the strings and the drums in combination, I think. It's so inspiring.
It's over!
Just too bad. I thought I was going to be able to trigger the dual unison attack with my other unit. I forgot the incredibly specific criteria for it already. I was streaming and figured it out. I think it's these nonsense little ropers that are healing the Vanguard members. Just to them.
Playtime's over.
The real question now is, will it actually land? Oh, thank God. Maybe it's just a one-time thing.
Final strike. Darkness devours. Power.
Should have never gone against me.
Gonna have to look for some passkeys. Nothing new about that. I wonder if this lone Vanguard in a side room might have a pass card. What? No, that doesn't sound right. Ah, who would have guessed? This infiltration was one of the few things that I somewhat vividly remembered about this game before I jumped back into it. And playing it again, it occurs to me that one reason that might be the case is because it's one of the few areas that really was totally new to the world, and like a dungeon that had no parallel in the first game. Because certainly you had Altamira, but this building wasn't there, let alone the concept of this building as a dungeon, whereas many of the other dungeons we've been through, as we've been talking about, are old ones that just had a new old level added to them in terms of like further depths to explore beyond the seals where the summon spirits were kept to find the subsequent Centurion scores.
It's over!
course I won. Oh, jeez. What's with all these weird machines?
Hold on. I'll bring up the structural blueprints.
Don't worry, Emil. Rain is the best at weird machines.
I'll work on disarming the security system.
You two are amazing.
There we go. Take a look at the screen.
The top floor. Maybe the president's office?
There's an elevator that goes straight there.
So we could go directly to where Brute is?
Yes. However, security will be tight. That's why I suggest we split up into 2 groups.
Ah, the old classic.
Won't it be more dangerous to divide our forces?
I agree.
That is certainly the case. But if we end up facing the full force of their soldiers, we'll fail. We have to divide the enemy's forces.
So you're saying we need a diversion?
Exactly. The decoy will create commotion around the elevator that leads to Brute. Our main unit will go up the emergency staircase.
Then I'll be the decoy.
Marta, you want to talk to your father, right? You should be in the main unit.
But those in the decoy might get hurt.
Either way is dangerous.
Genus is right. Emil, Marta, and Tenebrae, you go up the emergency staircase.
All right. You guys be careful.
You too.
I'm sorry, and thank you.
Even this then is diverging from the first game in the way that we talked about with regard to the scenes and conversations in Mizuho, because in the first game, that would have been a clear-cut choice, as I was alluding to, in terms of, the player chooses how to divvy up the party into 2 groups, whereas now, because the entirety of the game is predicated on the relationship between Marta and Emil, it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to be in the same group, which is the one that sort of does the key substance of advancing the story, and the other guest characters from the first game constitute the second support group.
It's been a while since we've been alone together.
You're right.
Please don't forget about me.
I haven't forgotten. It's just a matter of nuance.
Oh, it's quite all right. The elderly are always being shoved aside.
I thought you didn't like to be called old.
It's a matter of nuance.
Just when it suits me.
Oh, come on! Why does the Lazzareno company need to have buildings this big?
Maybe as a symbol of their success?
But why do we have to suffer for it? A company's building should be simple and...
Oh, I did not mean to jump out of that skip. Excuse my trigger finger. Though in my defense, it did not seem like one of the more noteworthy ones.
Die, scum!
It's also like a very different experience than splitting up your party in the first game, because part of the difficulty of those divisions of party, like we experienced in the stream with the remastered version, is that you didn't always have enough party members at the time to be able to fill out 2 complete party rosters, so it was more often divisions into groups of 3 and 3, which made it all the more challenging, not only to have to maybe play as a character you didn't typically play as, but also to manage enemies with an overall smaller party. Whereas now, like, we split up, we literally keep the 2 party members we've been using the whole time, and both of the monsters we've been using, so there is no material difference to our party navigating the structure now versus before Rain made the decision for us to split up. Not that it's a worse experience than the first game, but just like so many of the aspects of this game we've been talking about, it's a marked departure from the way things worked in the first game. Which I think can honestly be a really refreshing thing for a sequel. Sequel doesn't mean it has to be a rerun of the first game. if anything, it should introduce a lot of changes that are thoughtful commentary on the first game. And I think as we've kind of been teasing out throughout the course of this playthrough, I really am feeling on the return to this sequel for the first time since I originally played it, that it's succeeding in doing exactly that relative to the original Tales of Symphonia. What is Ability Plus? Ooh, more combos? Don't mind if I do. Does mean we have to sacrifice something else. Well, we don't seem to be getting a lot of monsters here, so that seems like a good trade for now. I just have to remember to actually use it. This is the part in the game where there are so many skills that it becomes hard to remember everything that your character is able to do in battle and equally take advantage of all of it. Oh, forgot to get the chest. I love that the enemies respawn that quickly, but remittance. You know your party's getting pretty well equipped when they start slapping on mithril stuff in a Tales game.
Say your prayers.
It's always satisfyingly late game kit that's not an end game kit.
Should have never gone against me.
Ooh, don't like that.
Surprise attack.
I just wanted to get to the chest, man. There we go.
Let's go.
Leave it to me! No, please!
No escape.
It's a complicated one to trigger, but it is a pretty cool animation. It is neat how just adding one additional base art really makes the middle's overall combos feel way more fluid. And I can get them all to connect.
Yay, we won!
Glad I didn't spend a lot of money on all those little extra small pieces of equipment, because it seems like we're getting them all upgraded inside of the dungeon. Hard to anticipate what will be in chests ahead of time.
That was too easy.
Onward.
We won't lose! Hit it! No!
Playtime's over. This is the final strike. Darkness devours!
Man, that thing has too much health, especially with all the stupid healing magic on the field.
Be great!
Get ready!
What? Stop doing that! The fact that enemies have not just healing spells, but fucking intermediate spells? Are you kidding me?
Playtime's over. Final strike. Darkness devours. So hour.
Okay, at least that killed one of them. I didn't collect that small monster diamond from those custom freaking healing circle for them. Well, now at least we can beat on the last one standing, as is tradition, and as is our right as the victors. Ah, now we have pass cards with different ranks. It's all seeming too familiar. Great. Great. Love it. Nope, it's the freaking little Vanguard weenies that can somehow cast Healing Circle. You kidding me? And they have concentration? That's preposterous. I have to crush this one with a Mystic Art just on the matter of principle.
Darkness devours. So hour.
Satisfying.
Savage Reaper. Ready? Damn it.
Our demon's level is 6/6. Fitting and a little scary, if I'm being honest. Hopefully he won't emerge as a demon lord unto himself. Our favorite little sadist.
When you didn't head for the elevator, I thought you might take this route.
Is Daddy here?
Where's Brute? If you know where he is.
You don't have to act so scary. I didn't come here to fight you.
What do you mean?
I hate to ask you this, considering all the times I've tried to kill you. It's Dumbo Dex. I want you to help him. I'll tell you where Commander Brute is if you do.
Was not expecting that.
Did something happen to Dex?
Commander Brute gave Solum's core to Dex so that he could transform into Lloyd, but it's changed his personality.
Ah, well, I called that one, didn't I?
Now that you mention it, he did seem more violent than before.
A Centurion's core can make humans go insane.
Isn't there anything you can do to help him? Dex has completely lost it. We've got him locked up in the room back there. I can't stand seeing him like this.
If we hatched Solum's core, I believe he would come back to his senses. But doesn't Brute currently have the core?
Commander Brute gave it back to Dex after he fought you. Please help him!
Tenebrae, can you feel Solum's core nearby?
I've felt its presence ever since we entered this city. However, it's out of control and affecting the entire region. I'm having trouble pinpointing its exact location.
Mart,
Please, if you help Dex, I'll take you right to Commander Brute, I swear!
This seems super
Let's
suspicious.
help them, Marta. It'll give us the chance to hatch the core, too.
I mean, maybe she just cares about Dex after all, which would be cute, but... even with all we got about Alice's backstory and those side quests, I don't really trust her as far as I can throw her. Especially when, through those side quests, we learned, if nothing else about her, that she basically learned from a young age that she had to do whatever it took to get by and survive.
I must advise against it. Remember, Dex was the one who killed your parents in the Blood Purge.
We'll
good
make him face
point.
his crimes! Just please help him!
The most important thing right now is hatching the core. Besides, Dex won't be able to tell us what happened in Palmacosta until he's back to normal.
All right, we'll help. Oh, thank you! He's in that room just over there! Please help him!
What, you think I'm gonna go into that room first? Come on. Have you never played a JRPG before? Mithril everything, baby! Oh, I was really hoping the change in music after the conversation with Alice meant we wouldn't have enemies to deal with out in this lobby. That's alright. It's also very satisfying to interrupt an enemy that went into overlimit with a mystic art that they can't escape from being staggered by. Good try! No, correction, terrible try. Oh, but Emil once again fails to face the correct way.
See that?
With the finishing blow of all things. Man, this brother does not have a great batting average on this stream so far. And we're back to the melancholic music. I don't know if this is melancholic or more suspenseful, actually. Suspenseful melancholy. Or melancholic suspense, as the case may be. Well, let's see what happens. I'm calling it. I think Alice is playing us. But let's see how things go down. Oh, well.
Give me Solum's core.
No, that really does look like he's that unhinged. Maybe I was wrong. Alice, I'm
He's been a
sorry.
very happy boy ever since Commander Brute took Solum's core from him.
Ah! Well, I was right, but she was also half telling the truth. Should have seen that coming.
You lied to us!
No, I didn't. Dex really lost it.
Right.
So sorry. Commander Brute really wanted me to bring Mart to him, so I had no choice. Have a fun time with Dex, okay? Toodaloo!
Oh, so they, like, made Dex lose his mind in order to make him more compelling bait to lure the party in. Oh, that's...
It won't open!
That's another level of sadism, even for Alice.
Give me Solum's core.
I used to love Alice, but now I love Core.
You're that kid. My fan.
It's the only person in the world who likes that scent, and he likes it enough for it to literally bring him back to his senses from beyond the pale of sanity.
Odor has momentarily brought Dex back to his senses.
Tell me something, kid. What exactly are you doing here, anyway?
Dex, you murdered my mother and father.
Whoa! Hey, Colette, be careful!
The gang's all here.
Sorry, I tripped again. Oh man, the machine's going crazy. What should we do, fellas? Maybe I touched something.
Colette! Zelos!
Emil! Thank goodness you're alright!
A chosen double feature.
How did you two get here?
I guess your luck with klutziness is still going as strong as ever. Hey, Emil, I'll explain later. Come with us for now.
But he's the one who killed my parents.
Sorry, but getting rid of the Vanguard is more important than revenge.
But I really want revenge.
Ah! Hey! Wait!
Oh no. Just when he had reclaimed
Why are
his
you
sense
alone?
of self.
I thought you were with Regal and the others.
No one cares about Dex.
Well,
Intruders! How did you get in here?
Let's get rid of him, Emil. Come on!
Dream Team. By Dream Team, I mean Neil and 3 monsters. Because despite putatively adding party members, they don't even give us an opportunity to reorganize our party to loop Zelos and Colette into it. That's alright. I probably would have chosen the monsters anyway, if I'm being honest.
at least make it challenging.
We're not safe here. We need to keep moving. You can tell us what's happened once we make it to a safer place. We should be okay in here. Sorry to drag you along like that.
It's okay. You were right. We have more important things to do. But why are the two of you here?
Lloyd asked us to come.
He did?
We finally managed to catch up to Lloyd, though he still won't tell us anything.
Just then, we heard Vanguard had invaded Altamira. So Lloyd told us to go and help.
Is he here too?
Yeah, though he said he couldn't work together with us for some reason, so he's off doing his own thing.
What about you? Why are you here all alone?
Well...
So Marta was captured.
This is not good. If Marta's in enemy hands, that means they can use the mana cannon.
It's all my fault. If I didn't trust Alice...
There's no need to worry. I am able to sense where they're keeping Lady Marta. Now is not the time to blame yourself for what happened.
He's right. Let's go save Marta.
Right.
Nothing like some red sage. Always one of my favorite items for beefing up HP.
Ah, Colette. that sometimes I could just kiss you. Your ability to turn every simple stumble into a miniature miracle never ceases to amaze me.
Her stumbles make miracles?
See, every time Colette falls down or makes a mistake, something good always comes of it.
Now that you mention it, when Colette tripped and bumped into Marta, she saved her from being attacked by a monster.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
Oh, I believe I've come up with quite a plan.
Speak right up, Tenny.
We'll have her take a tumble on her way to buy lottery tickets, then sit back and watch the money roll in.
Brilliant.
That's pretty pathetic, Tenny.
Paw Pad, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger.
I'll tell you, Emil, little old Alice really stuck it to you back there.
Are you trying to say that it was my fault? Don't worry, I know that already.
Whoa, don't get your panties in a bunch, kid. I wasn't blaming you.
Then what is it?
You see, when a boy is tricked by a woman for the first time, that's when he becomes a man. You trust one, get betrayed, trust another, get betrayed. You swear you'll never trust again, but then you do. That's male-female relations in a nutshell for you. It's true she got the better of you this time, but now we've got another full-grown man on our side.
You sound like you speak from experience.
Leave me alone. You'll see for yourself soon enough.
And it took me this long to make the connection also back to what we were talking about in Tales of Symphonia in terms of like hidden choice in the plot for either Zelos or Kratos to save you in the Tower of Salvation from Yggdrasil and the rest of Crucius and the Desians. And I guess, despite the fact that I was trying to bring back Kratos and only accidentally fell into Zelos, it was really good, unintentionally on my part, in terms of carrying over the continuity from that into Dawn of the New World, since Zelos is a big part of this game, and that would not make nearly as much sense if we were rolling into it from a playthrough where we brought back Kratos and killed Zelos as an actual traitor to the party. His talk of betrayal, male-female relations notwithstanding, brought that to my mind. Good thing that we were in a branch of the game where he didn't actually betray us. Oh! That's convenient. So we can't get to the B rank one, but that should allow us to use the other elevator. Love it! Ooh, or a Calcum. That's awesome. I think if I'd looked at the synthesis menu correctly, that allows us to craft another Philosopher's Stone, which, as we were talking about a while ago, is the key, very rare item required to craft the evolution statues for special top-tier evolutions of monsters. Which makes me more comfortable using one of the stones that we have right now to evolve our Archdemon buddy into the next evolution of him that we discovered last time. I think it's called the Broom, if memory serves. Always an idiot healer hiding just outside of my field of view. You're gonna get it, because you made me mad. So many Vanguard in this Blizzarino building. Hard to lose when you've got a literal Hydra on your side, folks. I could manage it, of course, but it's harder to do. C rank. Okay. Well, the other elevator down on the first floor said that it could only be accessed with B rank. So I must need to do something else on this floor first. That, or maybe now our upgraded task card lets us access a new floor using the old elevator that we took to get to this floor. That might make more sense as I think about it.
Darkness devours! Hour! Ready?
At least make it challenging.
Ooh, light spear cannon. An old favorite. That's gonna get equipped right away. What do I want to replace? Maybe Heavenly Tempest for now. Oh, I'm excited for that. Never a bad time to skewer someone with a light spear. That's where we just were. I swear if they revive that enemy. Not if I have anything to say about it. Oh no! Well, when you usher me into a dead end, I guess there's not much I can say about it. So I guess my intuition was right. We have to go back to the elevator we used to reach this floor. Why does he say arcane strike instead of light spear cannon? That's a bummer. Don't use... You're using placeholder voice acting for the coolest and most classic of the arts. Okay, so he can say light spear cannon, he just doesn't always elect to do so. Weird! And all the way back we go. Yeah, second floor, that's new. So we'll probably upgrade the pass card to rank B on this floor. And then have to go all the way back to the first floor to get to the other elevator that works with grade B or above. Onyx. Very cool.
Should have never gone against me.
Gem from the Summon Spirit of Lightning. Oh, that's cool. So if you change the info on it, it actually explains to you what the piece of equipment does. So it gives your attack lightning element, and it helps you to resist water. Good to know. Not what we need right now, but nice to actually know what it does. Either they didn't offer that in the first Tales of Symphonia, or I never figured out how to find that information. Which honestly would be equally likely, given that I only just figured that out in this game in Chapter 7. I'm not always that great at investigating the user interfaces provided to you in these games. And I really have no excuse in this game since it's old enough to have a literal instruction booklet, which I was enjoying leafing through before I started it. I missed that era of gaming. I do feel like something was lost when we moved over to just fully digital games that are designed for you to learn through playing, as opposed to through reading those pieces of background literature first. There's a special art to these little booklets, you know? They give you just a window into the game that's materially different and sets your expectations for the game in different ways than you get from sitting down to play it and immediately entering into the world and context of the story.
That was too easy.
B rank, baby! As foretold. Really hoping there's another door on this side, otherwise this will be a wasted effort to get over to this side of the floor. Gotta check. what the art of dungeon crawling is all about. And I feel like finally getting some beautiful synergy between my boy and his monsters. These guys really seem to know how to dish out a beating to enemies in a way that we were struggling to achieve just a few chapters ago. I wonder if that's more a factor of the particular party we've assembled or just their raw levels as they've acquired more skills and abilities and just raw stats. Nope, the game played me again. All the way back we go. And really played me, like, just as an excuse to make me face one more group of enemies. That's the only output from making me explore the dead end of this floor.
Of course I won.
Back down to where we began. Guess we got to hit that full restore save point once again. Never a bad time for that. Booyah! Coming up on 35 hours here. How the time has flown. Oh yes. Don't you shout no. You think you can get away with casting healing spells? Not in my house.
was too easy.
And a new spinner from Arda. Although I think that might be the one that we bought back in Israel? We'll have to check once we reclaim her. Oh man. Recover HP at a level 3 skill? That seems pretty good. Oh, and a skill to have a really effective poison attack? Well, I think our already awesome Hydra just got a lot better, gang. I was wondering when we would find our old adventurous friends. These things called elevators. I'm a cat. I don't know how human civilization works. Please help me. I'm begging you. Oh, I wonder if we can synthesize this guy. Does he offer synthesis? He does! Alright, let me see if I can just look up quickly the item that we need in order to get the evolution of Broom. And we can do it! Okay, looks like we need a Lord of Chaos statue for the room evolution. Let's see if we have the requisite items to make that. Lord of Chaos? No! God damn it, we don't have a hunting horn? We don't have the right things for any of the evolutions that I really want. And yet we have the items for basically all of the other statues. It's very annoying. Well, I guess we can beef up their stats at least. Make them stronger, please. Alas, we cannot evolve him. At least now we know what we need. Missing a hunting horn. My god, this Wyvern Lord of ours has the most ridiculous physical attack. I love it. Alright. So to get Bakunawa, I just want to make sure that we don't have the stuff for him either. that one requires the bright flame statue. I don't think we have the stuff for that either. I think Smidge looked that up for us in chat last time. But I'll double check. For bright flame we need... Missing Dragon's Anger. All of the rare endgame items were missing. Oh no, I misread the synthesis interface last time, so we can't make a Philosopher's Stone with Orichalcum. We can use a Philosopher's Stone and Orichalcum and make an All Divide, which would be super not worth it. Who would make that trade? I feel like they only include that as bait for people who don't understand the use or the importance of the Philosopher's Stone in evolving monsters. Oh well, at least we know which materials to keep an eye out for in order to evolve our monsters to their final forms. I believe I've fallen for that on every single floor, man. That's on me at this point. I should have learned by now that there would be nothing there. Man, now that I turned that skill on for the Hydra, everybody's getting poisoned. Everybody on the other team, that is. Which is deeply rewarding after the many status effects with which I've been saddled over my JRPG career. Oh my god, there's another healer. I lose my mind. There's something weirdly satisfying to me about managing to juggle an enemy other than the one you're targeting, just because you happen to fall into them at the right angle. Just happened a moment ago.
At least make it challenging.
Okay, we have access to 2 new floors from this left side elevator. But first, better safe than sorry. Return to the ground floor and do a full restore save. If you learn nothing else from these streams, I hope you at least learn to save often and restore your party often. Never a bad time to do that, whether it's in an old school game or even in a newer game. it. Oh, definitely yet, though.
Darkness devours. Of course I won.
On we go. Very non-threatening door here.
I sense Lady Marta on this floor. Please search for her.
Man, it's easy to forget that this is supposed to be the headquarters for a major corporation because it feels very much like the architecture of what sort of a paramilitary group would build as their base of operations. I don't know what that says about like multinational corporate culture, but it feels resonant and right to me, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Damn it.
How can we know that just from walking into it? It looks like a library, if anything. Oh, I forgot to mention on the stream already, so I'll call it out and try to remember to leave a link in the description of the VOD and other places, but I mentioned it a couple weeks ago on the stream. For those who are more broadly interested in Japanese storytelling beyond just JRPGs, and maybe also interested in things like anime, a very good old friend of mine by the name of Leo Luo is starting a really neat publication that is basically trying to do the same thing that What the Terrible Fate has done for video games, but for anime and manga, looking at them through a deep and rigorous literary lens with the hope of unearthing other layers of meaning in them and different perspectives through which to understand and appreciate them. So this week, I was really honored to contribute a guest article to that, looking specifically at the Waking the Dragon season of Yu-Gi-Oh! For anyone who knows it. It's always been my favorite season of the show. I think it's a really interesting exercise in game-based storytelling more broadly, and it has deep, very overt Platonic influences. So for a long time, given my background in philosophy and also specifically Platonic storytelling, and with the interpretation that I did of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 through the lens of Plato, I wanted to kind of try to decode and better understand that season and the cards and monsters it introduces through the lens of Plato's philosophy. So I did that in a pretty short and digestible, hopefully, article on his publication, which is called Delightfully Viva la Weeb. That is an unusual combination of languages, so I'll say that one more time. Viva la Weeb, but a unique and compelling name for a unique and compelling project. So hope you check it out. Hope you throw him some support. It's a volunteer effort, but it's around on Twitter and all the social medias and Instagram, so find it, follow it. He has great articles on stuff like Naruto and Full Metal Alchemist as well. So check it out. And if you're interested in my work and never-ending thoughts on Japanese literature, check out my article on Yu-Gi-Oh! No. But I can't reverse his passage on ladders. Damn it.
Yo, Teddy, what's the deal? She's not here.
Yes, it seems that way, but I feel her presence coming from this floor. I am sure of it.
Maybe there's a hidden door, like how we found you, Emil.
I wonder what we should do.
Just make Colette trip again, right? Oh! Or the trip from the ceiling.
Sheena!
Sheena descends.
Whoa, Jubilees, you're all right.
I'll smack you.
Some relationships never evolve.
Ow, I think you meant that to be past tense.
What the heck are you guys doing here?
Well, you see...
Wait, just tell me later. But I'm glad you're here. You can help me out. We need to rescue Marta.
I love when it starts turning into like a tongue-in-cheek, not meta joke, but just like, well, I guess somewhat meta in terms of being aware of the, like the storytelling formalisms. Like, no, we don't have to do that whole blackout sum-up thing.
Marta's here?
I'll just go along with you and we'll figure it out as we go.
Yep, I was looking for Regal, and I just happened to stumble upon Marta. It took me completely by surprise since I thought I sent her out of the city. She's in the stockroom just past this wall. You can get in through a crawl space above the ceiling. Follow me.
Oh man, she expects us to jump up there?
I'll carry you.
Huh?
See, Zelos? If only you'd managed to do the one thing you were meant to do, you could also fly around. Like Colette.
You don't seem fazed at all.
Yeah, well, it's Colette.
Oh, there are multiple ways to go, and I don't know which one to go to first.
Lady Marta's below us.
Really?
Oh. So maybe we should have gone the other way first. Oh, I hope we can go back to it. Marta and Dad.
Daddy! Why can't you understand?
No, it's you who doesn't understand. The Church of Martel's riling Tether Allens and trying to destroy the Silveranti. Or have you already forgotten? And let us not forget, they are also responsible for the death of your mother. Now is the time for us to revive the Silverant dynasty and to restore the pride of the Silveranti!
It's true that some of the people in the church have done horrible things, But so have you! You attacked Paul Macosta and blamed it on the church! If you have a problem with the church or the Tetha'alan people, then you should have found some other way to resolve it!
Means and methods are insignificant in the eyes of justice.
Ooh. It's like a gross funhouse image of Lloyd.
What justice?
His appeals to justice.
You aren't interested in saving the people of Silverant? The only thing you want is to become king!
You poor girl. But I know you're not to be blamed. Your mind has been affected by Ratatosk's core. Leave it to me. I will gather all of the Centurion's cores together, and then remove that cursed core from your body.
Brute, seen here looking very fucking sane.
Crush the Church of Martel and the Tetha'alans!
No, Daddy! You're the one who's infected! Solum's core is warping your mind! Please wake up! Please stop doing all of these terrible things! Daddy?
Marta.
Oh yeah, he's gone. Good luck trying to reason with that guy.
All we need to do is somehow incapacitate him and retrieve Solum's core. Once Lady Marta has hatched it, most of the harmful effects should dissipate.
Either way, we still need to rescue Marta first. We should be able to get down from the vent up ahead. Let's hurry.
So we had to use both of the vents all along. It wasn't the case that one of them was a secret side path for a special item or something, which is what I was assuming. Man, I was thinking too, that was not the first time that Brute talked about restoring the pride of the Silveranti, and ooh, just that language of pride really smacks of race-based nationalism to me too. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but it definitely has certain connotations that, like we were talking about earlier, feels to me very consonant with the rest of sort of the special flavor of oppression and prejudice and just authoritarian systems throughout this game and the previous one. I smell a boss fight coming up, you guys.
Who are you? The great Zelos Wilder and his honeys.
Get serious.
And this guy. But don't worry about him. He's just my entourage.
Give Marta back!
Most epic boss fight in the world!
That was too easy.
It was. I'm actually inclined to agree with him for once. My goodness, they never end, do they? And with all the status effects that we're able to amass with our monsters' abilities, I find myself wondering whether there are any weapons or special skills that allow you to deal more damage to enemies that are afflicted with status effects. Like, I know there are games for which that's the case. I'm thinking maybe most recently of Wo Long, and I think that the Koei Tecmo or Team Ninja games are like that more broadly, like the Neo games too, where you can have builds that inflict status effects, not just for the effects per se, but also because they can fuck the damage of your weapon. It would be very cool and satisfying to have that here too. Oh, we actually got the grid aligned without even trying. We got a monster to join us. Let's see if it actually works. Hey, alright. Nice one. It's a charming surprise that just goes your way. Versus the onslaught of failures that we had last time. Let's get Marta back.
Marta! Emil, you came for me.
I'm sorry. I never should have believed Alice.
No, it's my fault for letting my guard down. I'm so glad you're okay. Colette, and Sheena, and Zealous, too.
I'm here as well.
Paw Pad!
I would never forget you. Thank you, Tenebrae.
So then, what's next?
Like Tenebrae was saying, we should get Solum's core back from Marta's father. Then Brute will return to his senses, right? Yeah, at this point, I think that's the only way I can get Daddy to listen to reason.
I wonder where he went.
He said he was staying in the president's office.
Then it's time to raid the president's office.
Boy, Crucius, the president's office. If there's one defining character trait about Zelos besides being a pervert and philanderer, it's that he loves raiding things.
Dearest Marta, am I glad to see you safe and sound. If we lost you, I'm not sure the people of this world would ever be the same.
That's a bit over the top.
No, Marta dear, you simply don't know your own value. You are far more lovely than any blossom. You sparkle more brightly than any diamond.
Sorry, Marta. Looks like the last of his screws finally came loose.
Was I talking to you, Sheena? You don't have anything going for you but your chest.
I'm gonna smack you with that.
Ouch!
Speaking of pervert and philanderer.
Get your words straight.
Oh man, now I like all three of the monsters I was using so much, I don't know which ones to pick. Coral has that great poison ability, and quite a lot of HP. I'll go with our dragon and demon. Why rock the boat, right?
We won't lose!
Oh, I forgot about the new sword that we just got for me. Oh, it's even better. Excellent. And I think we got something for Marta also. Yeah. It's kind of disappointing to have gotten something new that's so much better so soon after spending way too much money for her last spinner, which we barely used, but that's okay. As I said at that point, we're amassing so much money at such a regular pace now that we'll probably be even richer at the end of this dungeon than we were before we bought our last set of items, so it all comes out even, more or less. It sounded almost like he called Light Spirit Cannon Fiend Strike that time. It was kind of weird. Everyone's here. Except for Lloyd. Well, and also Kratos, I guess.
Genus! Rain! Crisea!
I'm so glad you're all right. O'Neil, you're still here. And what are you doing with Zelos, Colette, and Sheena?
And Regal. I was trying to count, and I was like, we're missing someone else. Yeah, so, okay. Not everyone's here, but, like, most of everyone's here.
Huh. Lots of things happened on this side, too.
I see. So it seems we still don't know where Regal is. Yeah, by the time I came back to save him, he was gone.
Regal has a tremendous influence within the world of Tetha-Ala. I doubt the Vanguard would simply kill him.
If we can restore Brute's sanity, perhaps we can get the Vanguard out of Altamira and save Regal as well.
Right. Marta, are you ready for what we're about to do?
Yes, I'm going to get my daddy back. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this, but I'll need your help just a little bit longer. We're glad too, isn't that right? Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Let's do this. Man, yeah, it was totally luck, but between keeping Zelos in the party in our Tales of Symphonia playthrough and stumbling into having Regal as Lloyd's best friend, we really lined things up super well for going into the sequel because it's set up that Zelos lives, and also I totally forgot about this kind of central role that Regal plays in this act of the plot, where he's kidnapped and kind of used as a pawn. I guess not kidnapped, but taken prisoner. Might be something worth including or writing about in that article I'm putting together on my experience with Regal in the first game. Something else that I totally wouldn't have expected going into it, but sometimes you just get to enjoy the nice serendipity of whatever your playthrough reveals about a particular game.
Man, what is with this building? It's more like a fortress than an office. Is Lezareno making stuff that really needs this much protection?
I know Regal would never make anything dangerous. I'll bet whatever they make here is really fun.
What makes you say that? The security in this place is pretty extreme.
I've got it. They must be for training spies.
Spies?
Yeah, that has to be it. I'll bet they're training an army of spies to hide in cardboard boxes and steal top-secret info from rival companies.
Why cardboard boxes? Slow down, Colette. Wouldn't that make
Because of Metal Gear. We all know why. Come on, Marta. Get your head out of your ass.
And they're training an army of spies to save the world from evil companies everywhere.
Maybe we should move away from the army of spies.
No, like I said, paramilitary, giant multinational corporation, it's all the same thing at bottom. I think that skit is pretty on message for that stuff.
Right? Yes.
Did he say anything to you?
Oh, he did ask if you were doing okay. Really? But why would he? You know, you fell in that hole back at the Vanguard base and he wanted to make sure you weren't hurt. He may have changed, but he hasn't stopped caring about his close friends.
Well, I'm made of sterner stuff than that. No reason to worry about little old Sheena, no sir.
Wait, so does Sheena like Lloyd?
I think that's pretty obvious.
No, she loves him. Idiots.
Marta.
Daddy, I want you to give us Solum's core.
If you don't hand it over, we'll have to resort to using force. But I don't want you and Marta to have to fight each other.
You plan to take it by force? Surely you jest, boy. Alice!
Ah, Regal, no.
Enough of these foolish games. The time has come. Hand over all the Centurion's cores you have, or your friend here dies.
Stop it!
You coward!
It's obvious that you don't understand. Means and methods are insignificant in the eyes of justice.
It's like a brainwashed robot on repeat.
Don't even start spewing the word justice.
The one thing Lloyd Irving cares about, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you know it's the real Lloyd as opposed to a fake.
Now, Emil! Right!
It's on! Let's give this guy the ass kicking of a lifetime. I wonder if there's a difference in the fight based on whether or not you have Marta in your active party. That feels like the kind of thing a Tales game would do, but like some of the things we were talking about, this game might have been just too early or else off the beaten path of the main releases for it to include stuff like that.
Playtime's over. It's the final strike. Darkness devours.
I like it when the boss calls me impressive. Makes me feel good about myself, for a change. Boy, this guy's hard to interrupt, though. Seriously hard to interrupt. Are you kidding me? It seemed a little unfair. We were absolutely wailing on him.
You're slow.
The spirits of the earth.
Savage Reaper, King Strike. Playtime's over.
Well, we really got Brood locked down. This is a far cry from our first encounter with him. We've grown much in a very small amount of time, apparently.
Darkness devours.
Darkness
Oh no!
and oblivion.
He has a Mystic Art too! Run!
From the gates of chaos.
I don't think his is gonna miss either. Nope, super not. But at least it can't wipe us out. That's something.
You to bow down to the Silverati.
That's cool. Flavor dialogue. Bow down to the Silverati King.
me your power! We need gear! Despair!
No, go on, Brute. Try to cast again. I'm sure it'll end up super well for you. What a death whale. They have some really good ones all around in this game, honestly. For monsters and humans alike.
I found it!
Oh no.
Dex!
Not crazy, Dex.
Give it to me. Give me the core! Dex, you...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow.
Dex!
That's a pretty tight parallel to the experiments to grow crucius crystals inside a human body.
Hatch the core!
But Daddy's gonna die!
Leave him to me. Just hatch the core.
But
The core! Give me the core!
Quickly now.
Yes!
His face.
I don't... Wait. What the hell just happened?
Dex, over here!
The sneakiest Vanguard elite.
Wait!
Daddy!
Marta, dear.
Daddy, hold on!
What have I been doing?
Don't worry, Daddy. I'll use my healing arts right now.
Marta, your daddy did some very bad things. When did all this begin? I can't even remember anymore. We have to stop the Vanguard.
Please, you mustn't try to talk. It'll only make things worse.
Tell Richter that I'm dissolving the Vanguard.
Richter, why?
Richter was the one who told me. He said that we could free the Silveranti people with the mana cannon. He told me to become their king. It sounds so ridiculous now. Why did I agree?
Sounds like Richter's playing some four-dimensional chess here.
My memory, it's all so hazy.
Don't worry. He's still alive. But he needs a doctor right away.
Yes!
I'll come with you.
And I'll come as well.
Regal, I'm afraid with your wounds, you'll only slow them down. I will accompany Emil and Marta. You and Colette should stay here.
You want us to protect Professor Sage, right? Leave it to us.
Thank you.
Really sad too. I mean, Brute, in terms of his role in the Vanguard and as Marta's dad, looms so large in so much of this game without us even really realizing it. And we don't meet or directly encounter him until pretty late in the story, as we've seen. And we also don't meet him until he's already like totally lost his mind to Solum's core, and that's our first introduction to him. That's a kind of sad position for a character to be in as an antagonist, and for us to be in as players and an audience that only get that access to him. And then sort of as we realize he's lost his mind and that's not really who he is, are then motivated to actually try to save him rather than stopping him.
I hope Daddy's okay.
Marta.
Don't worry. Rain and the others are with him. The best thing we can do for him now is to find a doctor.
Yeah.
Let's hurry.
But not before we save.
We will lose!
Playtime's over.
Overkill, but I can't stand when there's more than one healer and they just heal each other into oblivion.
Darkness devours. So power. Move this. Dark Rays is it. One work. Dual Savagery. Dual Savage Reaper. Dual No way. Here. Shot. Savage Reaper.
Oh, Neil got a new art as well, I believe. What did he get? Was it Converging Fury? I thought the name I read at the end of the Battle of Brute was something else, but I definitely don't think we've used that before. Let's try it out. Maybe instead of Dark Radiance.
Why? I just don't understand.
What's wrong?
I don't get it. Why would Richter want to make an organization like the Vanguard? He's a half-elf. Why would he care about the struggles between Silverant and Tethaala? It just doesn't make sense.
Neil, I'm sorry. I was in the Vanguard myself, but I didn't know anything. How could I have been so foolish?
No, I'm the one who was foolish. I hurt your father. I was only thinking of myself.
It's the only way for you to stop him. Rather than regret what's already done, let's do everything we can to help him.
You're right.
Whoa, wow. What have we walked in on?
Why?
Why are you so powerful?
I guess the heroes of world regeneration are no match against the power of the demonic realm.
Richter, why?
What powers are you using?
Emil, I've finally made up my mind. Your form no longer matters to me. I will kill you.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting to jump right into a fight with him. Richter, can't we talk this out? Oh, looks like we're not supposed to beat this one based on our inability to move his health bar. We gotta give it the old college try, as we've said.
You're slow. Playtime's over.
This time, though, I'm not gonna invite him to counter my Mystic Art, because I want to actually try to get as far through this as possible. As cool as that counter is. Yeah, he's also healing for like a ton of HP periodically. One of the many ways that you can tell you're not supposed to be able to beat him here. Try.
Be grateful. Arise, O violent waters, to run my enemies. Savagery! Enduring waters! Are you ready?
Oh no.
Pain will only last an instant.
We're not gonna make it. No, we ain't gonna make it. We're not gonna make it through this art.
Not good. Form a torrential vortex and engulf the evil spirits. Savage dual death! Form a torrential vortex and engulf. Move! Mortal winner! Damn it! Mortal winner! Enduring equinox! Enduring equinox! You're slow! Dual death! Enduring strength!
Doing better than I thought we would. We've almost got him to half health.
You're slow. Enduring summer. Are you ready?
Oh no. I revived our Archdemon just in time for him to be annihilated by a Mystic Art. Richter, no! I look like Aster! Don't do it, man.
You okay?
Mortal summer. Enduring equinox. Dual death. Too easy. Mortal summer. Move. Too easy. Time's over.
Just gonna see how we do trading Mystic Arts with the guy, I guess. There are worse ways to play a battle. Got him at less than half health. You had one job, Marta. It was stay alive. Well, stay alive and heal. Fine, 2 jobs. Oh man, Emil needs more TP also. We can't come this far and then crap out. Oh, dude, come on, man. Just let me kill you. Oh, not Marta. Didn't like it. This might get him. Wow. I'm gonna have to look up afterwards if it would still progress the story for him to beat us, because I really thought, based on how the start of that fight was going, that it was a scripted party loss, like so many fights in Dawn of the New World have been. It would be interesting if it were one that could go either way, like the first fight with Kratos in Tales of Symphonia, something like that. But go us. That felt like a W we really had to earn, and we got there. Ooh, his favorite. Mine so far.
This art, this timing. So indeed, you are Ratatosk.
He said it. He said what we've been thinking for a while. Another memory.
You're Ratatosk, summoned spirit of the giant Carlon tree, correct?
Some have called me by that name.
Ratatosk, the current balance of mana in the natural world is in a state of chaos. We believe your power is necessary to restore the correct balance.
Even if I adjust the balance of mana, the world will die without a tree to sustain it.
We have heard that a new tree has been born. But, as far as we can tell, the summoned spirit of the new tree doesn't possess your power to control the flow of mana.
So
please use your Centurions to restore the balance of mana. If you do that, then the world will be saved.
Awaken! Centurions, restore the bond with your monsters, and repair the mana of the world. And then, go and eradicate mankind, who destroyed my tree.
Wait. That's not what we were asking for.
Save the world, right?
Yes, but you don't have to kill everyone to do that.
Who destroyed the giant Carlon tree? It was the humans and the half-elves. That's why they deserve the same treatment themselves.
But a new world tree's been born in the world.
And it's just a matter of time before you humans and half-elves destroy that one as well.
This sounds point for point like Mythos to me.
Understand? You people are nothing more than parasites on this world.
No, that's not true. Humans and half-elves are a very important part of this.
Silence!
Aster!
And there you have it. You see, the world is no worse off without that parasite.
How could you? You damn bastard!
I love that first-person perspective we get from Ratatosk's eyes, too. That's haunting and uncomfortable.
I remember. And
then all of a sudden he...
I will avenge Aster's death!
So you think means and methods don't matter, as long as you get what you want? First you used Daddy to kill all of those innocent people, and now you want to kill Emil, who always believed in you?
Aster was also innocent!
I can't let you kill Ratatosk!
Lloyd Irving, why do you insist on getting in my way? Why does it matter to you?
At this moment, I'm going to stop you as Emil's friend!
That's kind of presumptuous to say you're his friend based on how you've been treating him and your other friends throughout this game, brother.
I guess you can't use the power from the demonic realm as often as you'd like.
Aramis!
All the bad guys are
He
friends.
got away. Emil, are you all right?
I mean, how could you be after that? Thought he was having identity issues before. Just wait. We're on the last chapter. Oh my goodness.
Even if my powers are still weak from just waking, a mere mortal wounding me?
Die!
So the twist was that it wasn't Richter killing Emil, nor Richter killing Aster, but rather Richter killing, or trying to kill Ratatosk. Well, I guess it did kill him because we know they return to their cores after they're killed.
That's Lord Ratatosk's core! Lord Ratatosk will keep coming back to life until you destroy it!
Are you betraying us, Aqua?
Give that to me!
I cannot allow Lord Ratatosk to be killed.
Which does then really invite the question, given our suspicions of Tenebrae and seeing that, does he
Where am I?
also want humankind and maybe also elvenkind to be eradicated the way that Ratatosk does? It's going to be a big final chapter, friendos.
I will avenge Aster's death!
I'm Ratatosk?
Lord Ratatosk,
I'm Emil.
I'm sure you've remembered it all now.
And now all the veneer is gone. Welcome to the last chapter of a JRPG. It's all on the table. Or I guess it all will be once we get the download from Lloyd on what he's been doing over the whole course of this story.
I remember being killed by Richter. But how could that be my own memory? Ratatosk's core's on Marta's forehead.
On the night of the Blood Purge, you hatched from your core in response to Lady Marta's cries for help.
Oh, so she, like, literally manifested him as her protector, which explains why he's been defined as her protector throughout the game. That's pretty cool.
By placing a fake core on her forehead, you were able to turn the enemy's eyes towards her and away from you.
And it's not even a real core, which also explains why she has remained totally sane and level-headed the entire time we've been going on this journey.
You're saying I did that so they'd go after Marta instead of me?
Yes.
As a joke.
That's horrible!
Having just awoken, you needed time to regain your former strength. And the power you once possessed has started to return little by little.
I can't believe this. I was using a girl to save myself. A girl who told me she loved me. It's cruel.
You may have been cruel. As Lord Ratatosk, that is.
Huh?
But the part of you that is Lord Emil has given everything to protect Lady Marta. And I detected no calculation or self-interest in that.
Tenebrae.
This is only one Centurion's impression.
So, okay, it does also raise the question of if the whole construct of Emil and Ratatosk mode Emil is Ratatosk, then why was there the division of his personality? If I remember right, the, Rain's theoretical explanation for that, back when she was just trying to understand Ratatosk mode, was that Emil was like a constructed identity to sort of block out memories of trauma and protect his self-concept in the world. And so I wonder whether they'll go more into whether that's accurate, but I guess the inference to best explanation, if we're thinking that is what's going on, would be Ratatosk had been wounded by Richter, he was weak, and then he was just woken up by Marta, and so maybe in order to have time to fully restore his strength as the Centurions were being awakened and as he was amassing monsters to restore their power and his power, Emil was sort of a temporary band-aid or like a stint, if you will, to prop up his self-concept and keep him relatively stable until he was able to have full mastery over his powers again. Pretty interesting. I'm really stoked to see how this all unfolds.
Emil, are you okay?
Marta, who am I?
I thought it was pretty clear now. You're Ratatosk.
Emil.
Tenebrae says that I'm not Emil. But I have memories of my childhood. Vivid memories. With my mother and father.
Memories can lie. They were added after the fact, so you could play the part of Emil more convincingly.
Tenebrae, stop this!
Now that the enemy knows Lord Emil is Lord Ratatosk, it would be dangerous to keep him ignorant of his true identity. And as a servant of Lord Ratatosk, it is my duty to keep Lord Emil safe.
At least give him a minute to catch his breath.
So that still confuses me, though, about his relationship with his uncle and aunt in Lewin, right? Because they seem to understand that there was a person named Emil who was their nephew, right? So was that all sort of an after-the-fact manifestation of his, mind playing tricks on him too? I don't quite get that.
Emil, Daddy wants to see you. Will you come?
Brute wants to see me? Sure, I guess.
Good. He's downstairs. Let's go together.
Okay.
And now for the most important revelation of all. This is the Wonder Chef. Tonal shifts! Ha! They keep you on your toes.
Emil, Tenebrae said that memories can lie, and I agree with him.
Marta.
We all have a couple of misconceptions, or things we've convinced ourselves happened a certain way when they actually didn't. Memory isn't an exact science, but it's something we depend on. I mean, what else can we turn to in the end? But that doesn't mean that the journey you and I have shared so far is a lie. There's nothing false about it. I'm not sure the best way to say this, but the Emil I know is really Emil.
Thanks, Marta.
Without any major substantive spoilers, if you're watching this and you're experiencing this game for the first time and you've played Final Fantasy VII and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this all feels very Final Fantasy VII, I think that's right, and I would definitely agree with you, but from what I remember about where the game goes from here, I would encourage you to hold on to that feeling and track it and see whether you still feel that way at the end, because I think if my memory serves, and given what they just said about memory, maybe it's playing tricks on me, but where this game goes is sort of a very interesting variation on and divergence from a lot of the same themes of identity and self-concept that Final Fantasy VII and a lot of other stories dwell on. In hindsight, that might be part of what interested me about it the first time I played it. Although I wonder, I actually didn't play Final Fantasy VII until kind of later in my adolescence, so it's also possible that I played this before I played Final Fantasy VII. I wonder if there was a way for me to look back and figure out if that's the case or not, because I'm interested in that. Alright, friendos, well, we rolled over to Chapter 8, which, as I said, is the last chapter, so I think we're going to be rolling through Revelation after Revelation, which will be a great way to start the next stream, but probably too much to try to wedge into the stream tonight. So I think that's as good a stopping point as we're going to get, landing on the pretty big twist, and maybe shocker, maybe something that you saw coming. So I think it was foreshadowed to a pretty fair degree that Emil wasn't actually this fella possessed by Ratatosk, but was actually Ratatosk himself the whole time, who seems to have some questionable intentions with regard to what he wants to do with the world. And like I said during that cutscene, intentions that hauntingly echo a lot of things that Mythos almost said verbatim during our journey through Tales of Symphonia. I'm really excited because I think the stuff I was most excited to revisit in this game is really still all coming up in the last chapter and the way its story crescendos and resolves. So I'm super excited to dig through all of that with you. I think even just based on those couple of memories that we just got of Ratatosk's history with Richter and Aster, I already have quite a few thoughts that'll be fun to keep track of and probe as we go through the rest of this, and then to do the really rewarding work, I think, of extending this back to a comparison with Tales of Symphonia and ask, okay, what is this trying to say, if anything, not just in a vacuum, but also as a sequel and a follow-up to that other game, which was so robust in terms of its storytelling and theming and message. So I can't wait to see how far we get in the next stream and what we learn when we talk to Brute and go further from there about the Vanguard and Lloyd's intentions and Ratatosk's intentions. All of the main actors, I think, are more or less on the table now, so it's a question of figuring out what they want, what their final moves are going to be, and what we, the player, are going to have to do with it, if anything, which is my little foreshadowing way of suggesting that there might be quite a bit that we have to do with it. So excited for that. Thank you for watching. As always, we'll be back same time this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Really looking forward to it. I'm Aaron Suduko for With a Terrible Fate. This has been part of the Tales of Praxis series. Look for another article in the series looking back to Tales of Symphonia later this week, maybe over the weekend at this point. We'll see how the next couple days go. But thank you. I wish you many great gaming adventures between now and our next stream, and I'll see you back here on Friday. Cheers.